How's it going out there again, YouTubers? Cyberneticshark here with another new movie review for you. So let's get right into this review and see what I saw. So last night I had the pleasure of checking out an awesome new comedy film that has an awesome cast and was beautifully directed, and that's just a really fun and awesome comedy type of film. Now that happens to be the awesome comedy film Night School. Now, Night School is this awesome comedy, like I said, and just fun, entertaining, hilarious, so many great one-liners, so many great scenes, just kept you laughing so hard at so many scenes. Now, this awesome film happens to be directed by a man that is just an awesome director in his own right, has directed a lot of great films, and just is a really cool and awesome dude as well. And that, of course, is Mr. Malcolm D. Lee. Now, Malcolm D. Lee you might recognize from a slew of films over the years, but a couple films I really enjoyed him in, or I really enjoyed him directing, were such films as the awesome 2002 film starring Eddie Griffin, Denise Richards, and the hilarious Mr. Chris Kattan. And that, of course, is the movie Undercover Brother. Now, Undercover Brother, if you're not familiar with it, is basically kind of like making fun of those black exploitation films, basically where, they're like these secret agents, and there's Undercover Brother, who's this, undercover agent, and his name's Undercover Brother, and basically it's like a comedy farce of all those things, and it's absolutely hilarious. Eddie Griffin is so stinking hilarious as that character. He interacted so well with everyone in it. You got Dave Chappelle is in it. Like I said, Chris Kattan's in it. Denise Richards. It's just a super hilarious, funny film. And Malcolm D. Lee directed the crap out of it. He made a great comedy film that just, brought a lot of funny and a lot of humor to it. Neil Patrick Harris is in it. And he directed it so hilariously and just made a really fun and entertaining kind of like spy spoof comedy type of film. And it's super hilarious. If you have not seen Undercover Brother, definitely check it out, people. It's so stinking funny and hilarious. You'll laugh your butt off. It's just so stinking funny. So many great one-liners, especially with Dave Chappelle and Neil Patrick Harris. Freaking hilarious. Definitely check it out, people. It's worth the watch, and especially if you're a Malcolm D. Lee fan. Another great film that Malcolm D. Lee directed is an awesome and amazing Martin Lawrence film that had a huge cast of just great veteran actors, from James Earl Jones to the late, great Michael Clarke Duncan to the awesome and hilarious Monique. Just a huge, awesome cast. And then, of course, is the film called Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. Now, if you're not familiar too much with Roscoe Jenkins' film, basically it's about Martin Lawrence, and he goes home for the weekend, and, basically for like kind of like a get-together with his whole family, and basically the antics that he goes throughout the weekend, and just how it kind of helps him realize where his life is, where he's gone wrong, and basically rekindle a love that he forgot he had, and not with the person he's with. It's just a really fun, awesome film. Malcolm D. Lee did a great job of directing, once again. Made a very funny, awesome kind of like rom-com comedy film. There's some romance in it, but a lot more comedy element, a little drama. And just, it was a really well done and fun film. If you haven't had a chance to check that one out either, that's really good too as well. Like I said, it has a huge, awesome cast. Michael Clarke Duncan was in it. James Earl Jones, Monique, just a huge cast. Super funny. Just really funny, hilarious. Just really well done by Malcolm D. Lee, and he kicked the butt out of directing that one too. And when it comes to Night School, once again, he brought that same awesome humor he has and gave us a really funny comedy. Everything about the film just meshed so well together. Every aspect of the writing was perfect, and just made a hilarious and fun new addition to the comedy field. This movie is just absolutely hilarious. Malcolm did an amazing job. I thought he picked a lot of great players, lots of great actors and actresses working together, and just he knew what he was doing, and he made a fantastic and funny film. And just, once again, just kicked it out of the ballpark. I mean, this is like up there with Undercover Brother and Welcome Home, Roscoe Jenkins. It's that funny. And if, unfortunately, if you weren't a big fan of those, that's too bad, because they're just pure entertainment. And that's what this was. Night School was that. and that's what made it so great. And I think what makes Malcolm D. Lee such a great director is he envisions great comedy and not looking for an Oscar nom or for any type of recognition like, oh, this is the greatest film in the world. He likes to create entertainment, and that's what I think is so great about his directing, and he did it once again with this film. Now, this great film, like I was saying, has a great ensemble cast. Just lots of great, comedians and just great actors all in all. Now, this film, to start off with this awesome cast, we had none other than the awesome Mr. Kevin Hart. Now, Kevin Hart, you might recognize from his stand-up. You might recognize him from a slew of films like The Wedding Ringer. You might recognize him from the Think Like the Man movies, About Last Night, and so forth. Maybe even Meet Dave, if you remember, he was in that too. But a couple great films I really enjoyed him in were such films as the awesome 2016 Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson film that I think is absolutely amazing. I think they work so well together and were a funny duo. And that, of course, is the film Central Intelligence. Now, Central Intelligence is just a super hilarious, awesome, spy, comedy, action film. And Kevin did such an amazing job in it. I think he worked so well with Dwayne. And I think they made a great comedy duo and just were super hilarious. There's some scenes in the film that are just absolutely hilarious that Kevin Hart does. Especially when he's thinking he's going to die. And he's trying to explain that there's a penis in this container. He's like, so yeah, this is a dick transplant, basically, he's saying. And it's absolutely, it's freaking hilarious. And Kevin was just amazing in it. Brought his great, comedy, stand-up, comedy elements to it, and just gave us a really funny and great film. Definitely check that out if you haven't seen it, people. It's worth a watch. Super funny, and Kevin's really awesome in it. Another great film that Kevin was in is an awesome sequel to another awesome comedy film with a great Ice Cube. And, I like both ride-alongs the same, but I just was feeling, let's do the Ride-Along 2 this time, because I think Ride-Along 2 didn't get enough recognition for how good of a film it was. So as I say this, the next movie I'm talking about that Kevin Hart was in is, of course, Ride-Along 2. Now, Ride-Along 2, if you're not familiar with, like I said, is a sequel to the first Ride-Along, and this time, Ice Cube and the awesome Kevin Hart go to Miami this time. This movie is just really hilarious. Kevin, once again, brought his A game to this film, made it super hilarious and fun. Has some great scenes with Ken Jeong, which are absolutely hilarious. His interaction with Olivia Munn in the film, and Ice Cube, of course, is always perfection. And just how he reacts to everything in the film is so freaking hilarious. Especially at the beginning of the movie when he's trying to pretend to be an undercover cop. And he's like, what's up, bros? And stuff like that. It absolutely hilarious. And Kevin is just, I love how he plays kind of like that stupid person where he's so dumb, but actually in reality he's so smart. It's just freaking hilarious. And he was so awesome in Ride Along too. So hilarious and fun and just super enjoyable in that. When it comes to a night school, once again, he brought that same comedic element, his same awesome just hilarity, and just he's a fun and awesome comedian, and I absolutely love his character. He just brought a lot of great comedy and awesome elements to the film. He was awesome with Tiffany Haddish. I think they worked very well together. His interaction with Romney Malco and Rob Riggles and Ann Winters and Lauren Rajabzi Jacobson. I can't ever remember her name. I'm sorry, but you're awesome. I love your comedy. But yeah, he worked so well with everyone that was in the film, and it was so stinking hilarious and funny. And just some of the scenes that he's in, and every time it pops up to a new scene and stuff, and when he's supposed to be in the ring fighting Tiffany Haddish, and he's wearing more pads, was absolutely hilarious, and just the expressions were perfect. Super hilarious and great performance by Kevin, and looking forward to more from him because he's just so awesome. Love watching him. He's just hilarious. So freaking funny. So, another awesome actor that we have in the film that I think is just a great comedian. She's awesome. She's gorgeous. I think she, had a breakout role in her, a huge film last year, and just has a lot of great comedic timing and elements. And that, of course, is Miss Tiffany Haddish. Now, Tiffany Haddish, you might recognize from the awesome new Tracy Jordan film, or Tracy Jordan, Tracy Morgan show that's on TBS called The Last OG, where she plays his ex-wife. And she was just awesome in that. Super hilarious and fun. I think that's a great show. Can't wait for it to come back on. But a couple films I really enjoyed her in and thought she was fantastic in were none other than an awesome and funny parody film from 2008 that makes fun of 300, Britney Spears and Kevin Federline thing, makes fun of Transformers, just makes fun of a whole bunch of awesome things that, where they did a lot of those, back in the early 2000s. And that, of course, is the film called Meet the Spartans. Now, Tiffany didn't have a huge part, but she did have a very memorable and funny, just like small role in the film where she plays an urban girl, and it was just absolutely hilarious because I totally didn't realize that was her until just recently, and I rewatched the film. I was like, holy crap, that's her! I didn't even know that was her, and she was absolutely hilarious just in that small part and really showed her comedic talents at the time. And I just was cracking up again at it, thinking, oh my god, I can't believe this is the same chick that was in this film, and is on The Last OG and stuff like that. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, this is crazy. And thinking, like, wow, that raw talent's really going to be shown later on in a few years. I'm thinking, like a decade almost later. And just thinking, wow, she really had a lot of potential back then. Why did it take her so long to get noticed, you know what I mean? And just, she was so awesome in the film. I really loved that, small part, and just was a great addition to that already really stupid and just entertaining, parody film. Another great film that she was in that I think is one of the best movies of 2017. This movie was just fantastic, had an amazing cast. Queen Latifah, Regina Hall, Jada Pinkett Smith, just an awesome ensemble cast. And that, of course, is the awesome film Girls Trip. And Tiffany was so freaking amazing in this film. I absolutely came out of watching that movie going, oh my god, I absolutely love this woman. I think she's amazing. I think she's awesome. I think she's absolutely hilarious. And, it was just so freaking hilarious. And she just was so hilarious. And everything about her timing and the words she brought out through her, comedic timing and stuff like that was just on point. And she interacted with all the gals so perfectly, and just her expressions were absolutely dying laughing type of expressions. I remember just sitting there cracking up so hard, almost crying because she was so freaking funny. Especially with the Great for the Banana scene, towards the end of the movie where they like part ways because they're mad at each other, and she's like, you keep your stuff, I don't want you coming after me and stuff like that. It was absolutely hilarious. She was absolutely perfection in that film, and I knew that she was going to do even more funnier stuff, going on, and seeing her new roles. And Night School really proved that. She once again just brought a great A game. I loved kind of how she had kind of a kind side to her in the film. Like, she had a heart, but at the same time she could rip you a new one too at the same time. I really enjoyed the aspect of that character, and I just thought she was absolutely fantastic in Night School, and was a great addition and worked really well with everyone in the film, along with Kevin Hart, and just their chemistry I thought was really good and just really fun and entertaining, really enjoyable. Makes the movie worth watching just for her performance, because she was just so freaking hilarious. Really great job, and looking forward to more from her too as well. We have another awesome, amazing comedian / ex-Marine in this awesome film that is just an amazing actor. I think is absolutely hilarious. Everything he does, he's so freaking funny. And just, he always plays such great, like, evil guys, or the ex-military, like, kind of out of his mind kind of characters. And that, of course, is Mr. Rob Riggle. Now, Rob Riggle you might recognize from a slew of films such as 21 Jump Street, 22 Jump Street. You might recognize him from different cameos and bit parts in movies and in TV shows and stuff like that. Just a really awesome guy. But a couple films I really enjoyed him in and thought he was fantastic in were none other than an awesome film that just was super hilarious. And his comedic timing in the film just made it so hilarious. Just was a great addition to the film, and just worked so well with the characters in the film. And then of course is the film called Step Brothers. Now in Step Brothers, you might recognize him as one of Will Ferrell's brother's cohorts at his job, and him just kind of like being evil and mean to Will Ferrell, and he's like, I just want to punch you in the face. He was absolutely freaking hilarious in that film, and just how he acted was absolutely hilarious, like this big bully type of character, which he plays so perfectly. And he just cracked me the hell up, because he plays it so like pitch perfect, like he really is like that in real life. Like he really is that character. But it's like at the same time, you're just like, you've seen him in other things, you're like, wow, he could play so many different roles, so versatile. And so funny, from an ex-Marine, how funny he is. Just perfection he was. He was absolutely hilarious in that film. Loved him and thought he did an amazing job. And just, really showed how good of a comedic timing he has. Another great film that Rob Riggle was in was an awesome film that came out actually in 2017, but actually was filmed back in 2014 when the late great Robin Williams was still doing stuff before he passed away. Now, this film stars the Simon Pegg and the awesome Kate Beckinsale, and it's a film called Absolutely Anything. Now, I've actually done a review on it. If you haven't seen it, definitely check it out. And this film is just an awesome film where basically Simon Pegg's character gets the ability from aliens that he can do anything he wants. He can make people do what he wants. He can change things. He can kill people. He can do anything. And he has this absolute power like God, basically. And Rob Riggle actually plays a character in the film. He's an ex of Kate Beckinsale's character. And he's absolutely freaking hilarious in it. Super hilarious. Oh my god, he's like almost like stalker funny in this film. And just his character and how he acts and stuff, and it's almost very similar to his character in Night School. And just that stupidity, but at the same time kind of creepiness. And he was so freaking hilarious in it, and just how he reacts and how he does things and how he interacts with Simon Pegg and Kate Beckinsale is just absolutely hilarious. It was such a amazing role, and I absolutely enjoyed it and loved it and thought it was just a fantastic film. Perfection performance, I felt, by Rob, and just was another great film to show how good of a comedian he is. Now when it comes to Night School, I thought he was fantastic in it too as well. I thought he was absolutely perfection again. Just he plays that great stupidity role, and he really was that in this film. And just how he interacted with Kevin Hart and everyone else, and just some of his lines and stuff, and some of the dialogue he said was just so freaking funny, and you cannot not laugh at it, because it was just so stupid, but at the same time so funny. And just like, his timing was just so freaking perfect. And he just was a great addition. He was a great, great person to have, added to your film, to hire for your film. He was a great part of that film, and I was very happy that they had him in the film, because it just made it a great film all around. And Rob did a great job. I'll always enjoy his films, and always enjoy even his small parts in films. So to round out this awesome cast, we have none other than another great comedian that I think is absolutely hilarious. Loved him in the 40-Year-Old Virgin. Loved him in the Think Like the Man movies. I just think he's a great, funny actor. Super hilarious and funny. And that, of course, is Mr. Romany Malco. Now, Romany Malco, like I said, you might recognize from the 40-Year-Old Virgin. You might recognize from the Think Like the Man movies. And a slew of other cameos throughout the years. Blades of Glory and so forth. But a couple great films I think that he's fantastic in, and it really shows his comedic elements and just how good of an actor he is none other than the awesome 2008 film that I think got way too much slack. Thought it was absolutely a great film that Mike Myers did, and that, it was nice to see him in the flesh again after so many years. And that, of course, is the awesome film The Love Guru. Now, The Love Guru, Romany Malco plays one of the main characters along with Mike Myers, and he's basically who Mike Myers is trying to fix, basically. And I thought he was absolutely hilarious playing this character, playing, like this washed up kind of almost hockey player that his mother causes him to have problems and why he's not able to play as good as he is. And, him having these uh, this hard time with his love life, and it's causing him not to play good because he's like the greatest player in hockey right now, and his team is in the playoffs and stuff like that. And just his character was so awesome. I love some of the scenes where it was just so freaking hilarious. Some great one-liners by him, and just some great like expressions on his face were just perfection and funny and hilarious, and he just was really awesome in it. I really enjoyed him, and I thought he was really fantastic and fun. Another great movie that Romany Malco was in was an awesome teen comedy rom-com film from a couple years ago that was just a really fun, awesome film. Has a great cast. It has Mae Whitman in it, Bella Thorne, just an awesome cast, and Romany Malco is in this film. And then, of course, is the film called The Duff. Now, The Duff is just an awesome, fun, like I said, comedy, teen film, rom-com, and basically it's about having a friend in school that is heavier set, and they're kind of like your Duff, kind of like having the geeky friend or having the good-looking friend when you're heavier set that, you know, helps you make look cool and stuff like that. It's the same similar principle, but it's like you have like a heavier set friend, and Mae Whitman plays this character. But in the film, Romany Malco plays the principal of the school, and I think he's absolutely hilarious in it. I really enjoyed his character. I love how he interacted with the kids and how he, you know, treated them and how he like responded to them and stuff like that. And he was like kind of like this, you know, almost a little bit ghetto type of black principal and stuff like that. And I think it's absolutely hilarious and just funny and fun. And Romany did such an amazing job with the character, made it hilarious and fun. He had some great like one-liners in the film too, and when he interacted with Mae Whitman's character, and just like some of the things that he says, like when things happen, is like just like in night school, and he's like, "That's it, that's going on," you know, stuff like that, and it's just so freaking funny. And I thought he was an absolute pleasure and a fun addition to that film. But like I said, when it comes to night school, he was so awesome in it. Absolutely loved this character. Just how he interacted with everything, and just like some of the things he said, like his bottom bitch, you know, sometimes he was talking about how he was like, he hates robots and that they're taking the world because a robot took his job and that's why he lost it. He doesn't want to work at Best Western and stuff like that. It was just absolutely hilarious, and just the dialogue he goes on with in some of the scenes was absolutely perfection and hilarious. And then, because from the dialogue, the expressions of the other actors and stuff like that, just how they were, it's like spot on to them not trying to laugh, I feel. And I think it was absolutely perfection and funny. Super hilarious film, super hilarious performance by Romany Malco, and just a great addition to that film. And all in all, just Night School was just fantastic. I absolutely loved it. It's going to make a great addition to the film collection. Once again, another great Kevin Hart film that I think he put a lot of great, people together to make such a great and funny film. It's not an Oscar contender. It's not, anything of great, like anything. It's exactly what it's supposed to be, great entertainment. And that's what this film did. I absolutely was sitting there giddy as hell and just happy and very entertained by the film, and like left the, movie thinking, oh my god, I'm like, this is such a great film. I really enjoyed it. I'm really liking it, and it's a great addition to have to the awesome, already great repertoire of Kevin Hart. And it's a fun, entertaining film. If you haven't seen it yet, people, go check it out. So funny and awesome. Really great film. Very enjoyable, and like I said, can't wait to add it to the collection. Giant 10 golden movie boxes up on this one too. Just a real pleasure and fun. So that's it for this movie review, guys. As always, thank you for watching. Thank you for liking. And also, thank you for subscribing. If this is your first time here, if you've been here before and you haven't hit that subscribe button, what you waiting for? Me to personally ask you? Oh, John, or Tim, or Stephanie, or Giovanni, or whatever your name is. Please, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss my awesome material, people. Are you waiting for that? Come on, people. Hit that subscribe button so you don't miss this video and the awesome videos I put up. And as always, keep your eyes out for older videos you might not have seen yet. And as always, check out the awesome Stardust app, people, where you can watch 3 to 30 second little mini reviews, TV shows, trailers, TV episodes, movies, anything your heart desires. And also, this awesome app always has awesome polls and contests going on where you can win cool and fabulous prizes. So if that's something that interests you, go ahead and download it in your respective Play Store, and then follow me under Cyberneticshark, and I'll follow you back. And as always, people, catch you in the next one.